Hello, everyone. If you know a little bit about me, my name is Aurora Minigallo, and I run a business called Repurpose Your Purpose. And from the very beginning, I focused on working with people who want to change careers but are not sure what they want to do next. And it occurs to me when I read about career change and when I talk to people about their possibilities as a career changer, that it's very important to remember that changing careers in the 21st century is not at all what it used to be in the last century. So there's a lot I could say about this, but I want to share a few things that just come to mind. Okay. Number one is that age doesn't matter as much as you think it matters. In fact, I think if you tell yourself that you don't have opportunities or that people will not hire you because of your age, consider that you might be blocking yourself from seeing opportunities and even from accepting where you need to upgrade your skills. And I'll say a little bit more about that later. But in other words, age is not what it used to be. Age has really changed. Aging is changing. If you're over 40s and even more so over 60s, um, you're living in a very different world. And these are the first generations going through such, I would say, fast change as the decades progress. So embrace being happy at work at any age, and do not think that whatever the number is, that age is what is stopping you from doing what you want. All right, number two of things that come to mind, let's talk about the skills thing. This is a bit of a pet peeve I have as well. So let me see how I can express this without getting too riled up here. But the idea that you're gonna get a degree, spend a ton of money, and that's it, and you're set, is very last century. I don't know if it was ever true. I'm not really old enough to to speak to that, but I can tell you that right now people are changing careers not only because they want to do something they like, but also because their careers are changing on them. Every career you're in has either experienced or is experiencing right now, or both, gigantic changes, which means that you want to accept the fact that you will always be learning. And it does not make sense for you to take a huge financial risk or to think that you're gonna stress yourself and burn out for a little bit and then you're set. Okay, so I really want to invite you to think that career change is gonna become more and more common, at least for the, I don't know, a couple of decades, as things settle. From my perspective, that I don't usually make predictions, but this would be my prediction here. And then you want to sustain lifelong learning, whether in some cases that might be through more traditional institutions, but it probably will become more and more differentiated, the kind of learning we do. Now, what is my pet peeve is that I think traditional institution and schools that charge a ton of money are essentially complicit in this big lie, which is that what they're teaching you is worth that much money. Okay, again, maybe at one point that was the case, but I would say that really be smart and think long term. Do not gamble thinking that you tighten up for a couple of years and then it will all magically fall into place. All right, number three. A lot of things seems impossible until we try them. Okay, so this is something that I read about quite recently, and it's really, we have more and more scientific proof that it is just normal for all human beings that if we haven't experienced something, if we haven't tried it, if we haven't seen it work, yeah, it's normal to be afraid of it, to think it will not work, to have more insecurity. Okay, so it doesn't mean that everything you can imagine and try doesn't mean that it will work, right? But just beware of that tendency of thinking so many things impossible, when in fact, if you set your mind to it and you start taking action, it might be a lot more possible. All right, number four. All right, number four here. Mm, Having your own business is wonderful. I love it. It's also really hard work. So my what I usually say about changing careers, if you're sort of thinking, having my own business, working for a company, and all of that, I say think how you want to grow. Okay. So just like outside of work, if you decide, for example, to become a parent, or if you decide to be in a relationship, you're going to have a certain kind of growth that if you decide to be single or if you decide not to have children. So the same thing is when you have a job or you work for yourself. All right, let me go a little bit deeper into this. So if you have a job, you have a boss, you have to comply with certain rules, you're dealing with a lot of other people and office politics, and you need to learn how to navigate that. There's all these kind of things, right? You get a steady paycheck. You sometimes, depending on what job and what business you're thinking of, might have a lot more resources. So, there's pros and cons, right? But you're gonna grow in some directions. And particularly, I would say you're gonna grow in that direction of like dealing with other people, okay, and dealing with things that are outside of your control. Um, on the other hand, as a business owner, okay, especially at the beginning, because most people don't start businesses with a team and all that, you're gonna have a massive growth in the direction of taking responsibility, hustling, coming up against your fears and limitation, and taking risks, right? And yes, you might also have a lot more freedom and you can decide what you want to do, right? So none of these two paths are, good or bad, or better or worse. But what I've seen is that the people that do well are the people that embrace the path. So, generally speaking, if you embrace working for yourself, it means that your drive and your desire to have a certain kind of freedom is so strong and you enjoy so much that you're putting up with the rest that comes with not having a boss and not having a paycheck at the end of the month, right? On the other hand, the people that do really well in an employee settings are the ones that really embrace learning how to be in community, learning how to take what comes their way as far as people relationships and be their best no matter what, right? So there's an incredible and really rewarding type of learning that you can do in that environment. But again, that requires you to want it and accept it and not just spend the day counting the hours until you can work for yourself. So none of this is good or bad, or better or worse. I'm just pointing out to this is one of the things that I think maybe we don't talk as much about. All right, number five, if I haven't come, I don't know, I lost count. I'm really speaking here as they come to me, these thoughts, because I talk all the time about these things. Um, I'm gonna leave you with this, which is there's a little bit of magic in the timing. So especially if you don't know what you want to do, um, is it gonna take you a walk on the beach to have the insight for you to follow, or is it gonna take a year of soul searching? I don't know. And I work with people for a certain amount of time, but my experience is that they awaken to their own wisdom and the idea of what to do, or they find the information, or they find the path in their own timing. Sometimes at the very beginning of our work, sometimes after we're done working, as they're in life and they continue their search, something hits them. Okay. So the invitation for you is to open yourself up to your inner wisdom and to take action, to be in a place of exploration, growth, and curiosity, and to trust that yes, you will find what to do next. But don't stress too much over the timing. In fact, if you stress too much, it's like contracting and it will come in the way of you being open to something in the exact perfect timing that it's meant to come to you. All right, if you're interested in more, I am hosting a free to attend. There will be a paid recording if you don't attend. If you don't attend and you fill out the form. So really come and stay until the end for a free to attend webinar on how to change careers if you're not sure what you want to do next. It's going to be next week. And I think on the 20th of March, I'm going to put the link to my page with all my events. So if you see this too late, maybe there's other events you're interested in. I'm always hosting something. Otherwise, if you're seeing this in time or on time to join me. See what you can learn, and maybe you'll have some ideas. And remember, there are so many opportunities, even when it doesn't look like it to us. There are opportunities just waiting to be discovered.